I mean, the ones that really scare me, I can't watch over and over, like The
Okay.
Exorcist. That scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, they did such a fucking great job with that one. I felt like they did such like their homework on like the demons and the devil coming from what is it, Iraq or what it was.
They
Yeah,
did. I think I was about, how old was I? I don't remember how old I was when I saw that. I think maybe like 10. I mean, I was still pretty young.
sure,
And
sure.
I remember going, I was at my friend's house and um, I went to the bathroom. And when I came out into the dark hallway, her sister jumped out at me and scared me.
Hey, it's your boy Dustin from the Flying Chariots, The Rise podcast. And I got a unique special guest today. It's super sexy. And her name is Misty Wagner. And she's an actress and a hobbyist making like macabre decorations for Halloween. And she loves Halloween. She's like, every day is Halloween for her. So, and yeah, she goes to these conventions and yeah, it's getting her name out there and just putting her little splash of sex appeal on it. So again, I was like very attracted when I saw that. I was like, who is this woman? And yeah, I got to know her, and now she's here. So Misty, how many tell us where you grew up and how you got into the field of the macabre?
Field of the Macabre. I grew up in Paris, um, Texas. Um, and so when I was like, I think it was 5 or 6, I watched The Shining and it scared the shit out of me. Um, as I told people, I didn't even know what Danny was saying when he was, saying red rum, red rum. I just knew it was creepy. And so that's the movie that shaped my little dark heart and just had a love for horror and Halloween. And then I guess about in 2018, um, I just started making Halloween decorations and props for fun. It's my therapy because just makes it better whenever you can
Yeah,
just, put blood on something, make
yeah,
something
no, I get
scary.
you, and you're very
Um,
talented, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So started just casually, making things, and it branched off from there. I got to go to Alan Hoff's monster camp, so I got to learn how to make a mask, and
Oh,
that was really cool. So that was really what got me started on the Halloween side because once I did that, I started going to Halloween conventions and connecting with people and making Halloween friends. Um, and then
yeah,
that just eventually led to making horror films and acting.
yeah. Again, I haven't seen any of your films yet, but I would love to. And we'll dive into a little bit some of those movies and upcoming movies that are coming out. And yeah, that's super exciting. No, again, let's bring it back to like creating stuff. Like, what materials do you use? Do you like go out and like try to find certain materials like out in the junkyards, or do you uh use molds, or like how do you do it? I mean, again, like I was like, you have so much creativity when it comes to like sometimes you come to these iconic movies that you kind of bring out to life in some of these creations that you have. uh
So all of the above.
okay.
Actually, a lot of the earlier pieces I made were pieces that people were getting rid of, and I just thought, oh, you know what, I can repurpose them. Uh, I don't know if you saw that, but I've got like this big giant fist. And actually, someone was getting rid of it. It was one of those foam can holders that you use like at a sporting event. And I don't know, I just got that and I thought, you know what, that would make a cool monster hand. And um, I had this thing in the beginning where I just like to corpse things and put an eye on it. So that thing became a big monster hand with the eye on it. And then, a lot of the other macabre things, the lamp that was repurposed.
Yeah, no, I actually I'm gonna pull some pictures while
Okay.
we talk about some of these. These are really cool. Again, what is this made out of, for
No,
example?
that one is a mold from Nightmare Makers,
Oh,
and that is it's actually cast in a rigid foam. It's a two-part foam. It's very hard, like plastic, so
okay.
it's pretty much indestructible. So painted him up, and then
Yeah.
put hair and helm. I also used the same mold uh, later in one of my pictures. I had actually messed up the pour, and he had a hole in his mouth, and so I thought, you know what, I can still use him. I'm gonna make a forked tongue and stick in him, and so I made the forked tongue, and oh my gosh, people went crazy, and they ordered a whole bunch. I think I probably made like 12 of the forked tongue skulls.
Oh, cool. Yeah, again, I just love the texture you use. It makes it real realistic. And then you said you paint that yourself? Do you use spray paint or is it hand brush paint?
It's hand painted.
Okay. Again, this the again, you think it'd be kind of tedious. Are this is it tedious or is it just again, you said it's therapy for you. So again, uh maybe it's therapeutic in a way sitting there and making all these. Do you take like online orders? Do you have like a website, or is it just kind of like when you go to these conventions, you kind of like hand out your card, contact me for private uh collections? Because it seems like
Um,
a lot of people collect this stuff just to have in collections of
Yeah,
horror.
no, I make stuff and then I just post it on my page and let people get it. That was one of the early
Earlier
pieces.
stuff. Okay.
And I used to name my pieces. So that one
Oh,
is
cool.
Mend My Broken Heart.
Uh-huh.
Um yeah, and so that that's an example, just I like to make it look like it's corpsed. And then the stitches around it is hemp cord, and
Oh,
then I go underneath and I sew it so it looks authentic, and then I put blood in it.
yeah. No, that's
And the
cool.
blood, if anybody wants to, the blood is actually super easy to make. You just use clear. That's a soap dispenser.
Yeah. No, I like how it's
Um,
just you have so much stuff going on with
but
like
that's what I
just
mean.
the
In the early days, I just like to corpse things and then just like
yeah.
stick an eye on it.
Yeah. Well, I'm all with the eye. You notice my all-seeing eye in my chest there. I like the eye theme. I think that's kind of like your staple. I feel like, like you see
Thank
the
you.
macabre and you have the eyes, especially your lampshades. They're pretty gnarly. And I love this too, because this is kind of iconic for all the movie lovers of Hocus Pocus, right? Is this the Hocus Pocus book?
That is a Hocus Pocus book, and it's pretty cool because it actually opens up, so it's a
Oh,
stash
wow.
box.
Oh,
Um, yeah.
huh.
Um, those take me about like 40 hours to make.
Wow. You ain't
So
shitting.
yeah. So
That
I
is.
don't really, when and I've made 12 of those, so I don't really make any money off of it.
Sure, sure, sure. But again, it's just like the love of the art. And again, I'm just appreciating it for the love of the art and the fact that it kind of stems again with like horror and just mystery. And, and we have here in Madison or in Wisconsin, we have our fair share of serial killers here. So we have the famous Ed Gein, who's known for making macabre objects like this in his free time. let's go. Let's go to the
Except for
graveyard and
out of
see what I could.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, see what I could dig up and make soup bowls out of their skulls and make uh, nipple belts. Here's another one you should do is a nipple belt.
Do the nipple belt. I was so disappointed that Texas Chainsaw Massacre was not real, because I grew up as a kid believing that it really happened on, I think
Yeah.
they said I-35, and that movie is the reason why I'm scared of chainsaws. And so then I later found out that it didn't happen here, and it was loosely based off of Ed Gein, which is kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I think Psycho too, the movie Albert Hitchcock movie Psycho. Yeah, he took that basis of like being, like that Psycho is like obsessed with his dead mother and going off killing these young
Mm-hmm.
girls and stuff, and then dressing like a woman too. And Ed Gein did the same thing. He made like a woman's suit and would like prance around on a full moon wearing this woman's suit and acting
Oh
like his
wow.
mother and stuff like that. And his, I guess her room was very pristine, like he was like a shrine, and the whole house is like just tore apart and like body parts everywhere. Besides her room being like totally dusted over, but yeah, really weird, right?
Crazy guy.
And
Yeah.
he was at the mental institution here in Madison, where I live, and that's where he spent his last days. I don't know if they sent his body back where his family was buried, or he might be buried where the some other loonies were buried after death. But yeah, right, this really weird shit. And then yeah, we have Jeffrey Dahmer, more of a newer day killer. But yeah, again, like keeping up corpses, and he wanted to build a shrine of skulls and stuff like that. And I he would like totally loved your work. You're like, damn, she's up my alley.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. I'm sure he would probably give me a lobotomy and try to keep me.
Never
Screw boy.
tasted woman before. Let me try this. But again, your lampshades are really cool, and this is
Thank
what
you. That
definitely
was the first one. That was the
was it really.
first one that I made. That's why I think the second one looks better because the second one has eyelashes and stuff on it.
Yeah, yeah, I see that.
I
That's
think
really
the
cool.
eyelashes make it look creepy.
Yeah, more realistic. But no, I like that fabric of making it like really skin looking, rotting skin, you know. And I love how
Thank you.
even with like the light going through it too, with the eyes, that is dope.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It's creepy.
yeah, it is. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, I love the skulls with the eyes. They're realistic. Kind of, it's really creepy. Cannot want that looking at me. But you look beautiful. Look at you.
Thank you.
But yes, again, I love the sex
That's
appeal.
support time.
I love yes, and I love the sex appeal that you splash on it. You know what I'm saying? That's beautiful. It's a little trademark that you have, and everybody like lives vicariously through you. It's like, who is
Oh,
this
thank
woman?
you.
You know, it's like this is amazing, and you even do crochet. You know,
That
your
is
crochet.
that's my fuck uterus.
That's amazing. And you're great with the pun jokes too. And if you haven't seen her, check her out. She's got these videos of these creations that she has with making these, and like her pun jokes while she's talking are just on point, funny as shit. And yeah, no wonder everybody loves you. Yeah, again, you're very funny, you're very out there, very edgy, and you make these things too. Like who the
Yeah, those are my chap dicks. Um, Actually, I've been kicked off of the Nextdoor app. I don't know if you have the Nextdoor app, but it's really just filled with, no offense to anybody that uses it, but
Yeah,
it's I think it's just mostly miserable housewives and old ladies looking for their cats.
sure,
So
sure.
sometimes I like to go in there and post things for sale to just shake shit up in there.
That's so
Um,
awesome of you.
so
As you
I got in
should.
trouble for I got in trouble for the chat dicks, but it was worth it.
It was worth it. That is funny as
Um,
shit.
yeah, that one is a interesting piece because
Yeah,
I
tell me
did
more
that
about
at
this one.
Texas. I did that at Texas Honors Convention back
Oh,
in 2019. Um, so she came from a mold,
okay.
and it is one of the original molds from House of 1,000 Corpses.
Oh, cool. That's one of my favorite
So it
movies too.
looks so it looks different. So uh, painted the eyes, and then that was my first time for. No, it was not my first time for putting hair on, but we put hair on her.
Yeah, that is creepy.
So I
Yeah.
actually have another blank one that I need to find because I think I could probably do a better paint job.
And we could talk about this too. This is like one of some of your acting that you're getting into too recently. This is pretty cool. Like, what kind of got you into wanting to act, or did someone like persuade you? It's like, hey, you should get into this because you're funny making these videos. you know, you and you're very enthusiastic, and yeah, you have this energy about you. I could see where people are just like, why aren't you in acting? Why aren't you doing this for a living and having fun with your life? And
Well,
you
thank
are,
you.
you are just
I
again, sorry.
No, I'm having a lot of fun. Well, because I started going to conventions and I was making the spooky stuff and selling it, I started connecting with people who loved horror, which kind of led to, other actors and directors. And so I actually just started making movies last year. Made my
Oh,
first horror film.
oh, sweet.
And so yeah, and so that was a lot of fun. But Redhead 2, I am very excited for. Redhead, the original, just tell
Yes.
you,
Yeah, tell us more about that
uh,
movie.
Autumn Blackburn, she gets kidnapped by a really sick cannibal, and she sees her husband killed in front of her.
Oh,
So then she just kind of goes on a rampage to seek revenge.
yes.
And the kill scenes in that movie are amazing. Like it's off the charts.
Oh, sweet.
And it's my friends Sam and Jonna Hodge who directed it and produced it, and Jonna plays Autumn, which is redhead.
Yes.
Um, so the original has won 6 awards so far. They're up for a lot more nominations, and I was fortunate enough a couple months ago in Chicago uh, to see them at the Chicago Film Festival, and Jonna got Best Actress for that movie.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, but like I said, they've gotten 6 awards. I know the Ohio convention that I'm going to in a couple of weeks with them. They've already won, special effects for that movie. Like it's amazing. Um,
Wow. Okay.
so Redhead 2 picks off where, of course, where Redhead 1 leaves off.
Oh, okay.
And
Cool.
I am super excited about my character because I get to play Aisha,
Okay.
and she's the queen of hell.
Ooh,
So she,
okay. I like this.
yeah, she's queen of hell. So basically, I'm kind of a madam in hell,
Oh,
and I'm the goddess of destruction. I'm an enforcer,
that is
and so
awesome.
Autumn, when she comes to hell, my job is to command her and to force her to do things that she doesn't want to do.
Hmm. Damn. Okay. That
Yeah, I
sounds.
know. I love
Leave it
it.
at a cliffhanger. No, that's dope though. Again, I want to check out the first one because I think I seen it on her on your Facebook, and I kind of looked
Mhm.
into her the first movie. It looks really gory, and it kind of reminded me of like that, those Vendetta movies. Have you ever seen Mandy with is it Nicholas who's it? Nicholas Cage, I think, isn't it?
I don't think I've seen that one.
Um, but again, this kind of vendetta rampage after the death of his wife and going after these psychos. I love those type of movies. It's like the vendetta
Yeah,
movies are this where it's at because and
that's
like
cool.
it's got that Kill Bill feel, especially if this is like the number two of like what left off the first one. That's really cool. And now she's gonna get deeper into hell. That's crazy.
Well, she's gonna go deep into hell, and so it has the elements that every horror, I would say most horror fans love. So it's got the sex appeal and it's got the gore. Um, I'm excited for my character, just the sexual aspect
Oh
and
yeah.
the power from it. And here in a couple of months, John and I are actually going to do a photo shoot, which is going to be very exciting. It's going to have muscle cars and pool tables and beer. So
Ooh,
yeah, even
dang.
more things that horror
Sounds like a
fans like.
calendar shoot or something.
You know what? That's a good idea.
Yeah, right. That'd be really cool. Well, again, that's so exciting, and I think this will open more doors for more acting opportunities and other TV shows or movies. Are you just trying to stick to movies? Would you be open to do TV shows?
Yes, I'm open to do TV shows as well. So
Cool.
I've got a few things in the work. Vampire Penance, which is um, It's a vampire movie, but it's not the typical vampire movie. It's going to have a little twist. He's actually bringing in biblical elements and things in
Oh,
that
cool,
movie. So
cool.
waiting for a shoot date on that one, and then I I can't say this without giggling. One locally, Killer Cox.
Oh shit.
It's about, yeah,
Yeah.
rooster. So I'll be part of the fried chicken
Oh,
contest.
that is
Yeah.
hot. That's gonna be pretty dope. You know, I love these kind of wacky movies too, where like, yeah, if you're seeing Hobo, which is Hobo with the Shotgun. It's a
Mm-mm.
Canadian film. You should look this one up. This one's great. It's about like this hobo that comes into this town. It's in somewhere in Canada. And this town is just kind of run over by this bunch of sick, crazy psychos that just kill people for fun and whatever. And he's just looking at society. He's like, you know what? Fuck society. I'm just fucking fed up. Fucking. He's like, steals a shotgun and starts shooting all these bad guys. Just like, just trying to clean up the streets his own way, basically. And
There
it's
you
just
go. I
super
love that.
gory, right? And it's like really demonish. Yeah, I love those really independent, wacky films. Like again, like stuff like this. It sounds amazing. And yeah, again, what opportunity? Again, just going to these conventions, meeting these people. That's how, again, like networking. And that's how I'm doing it too. I'm just networking with people and um again supporting them and promoting their work too. So again, I'm here to promote your
Thank
stuff
you.
and support you and stuff like that. And yeah,
It's
again, I
about
just
networking but most importantly, I think just being real because people can smell bullshit and when you're not authentic.
yes, I totally agree. Totally agree.
But so, tell me how you got started as a ufologist and the paranormal.
Me, this guy.
Ew.
Well,
Yeah.
let me tell you. Uh, well, it all started back in 2012 when I had my own personal UFO sighting here in Madison, Wisconsin, on the west side. I was leaving my girlfriend's house at the time and going to my car parked on Kendall Avenue. And I just so happened to look into the sky, and out of the blue comes this fucking black silhouette of a boomerang with 5 white dim
Oh,
lights underneath it, about 40 feet above the treetops, dead silent. I was just like, what the fuck was that? I was like,
yeah.
I was like, at first, I was like, that's a cool military plane, but I was like, oh, it's way too low. And like, where is that giant engine roar that you'd think you would hear seeing something that low? But it was nothing. It's just so about 45 miles per hour going northeast and just I ran back to my girlfriend's house. I was like, "You won't believe what I just saw,"
Yeah, no
and
kidding.
that kind of started my journey of just doing more research, finding out that Wisconsin here is a treasure trove for UFO sightings and ancient astronauts, and yeah, so I just
Oh, really? Okay.
yeah, there's 3 towns here that claim to be the UFO capital of the world. There's Dundee, Belleville, Elmwood. All of them celebrate having UFO parades, having yearly UFO parades, decorating their cars like flying saucers and dressing up like aliens and reminiscing
That
UFO
sounds
stories.
fun.
It is.
Yeah.
I've been to Belleville's last year and for a documentary interview for someone's film or whatever. No, it was really fun. It was really cool to actually see it with my own eyes and be a part of that. And the whole town's really enthusiastic about aliens and stuff like that. It's really, really cool. But yeah, again, I just kind of talk to people, do my own research. And then 2 years ago, I caught wind that Colonel Wendell Stevens, who is a famous UFO investigator from the 1960s and 70s, he's famous for the Billy Meyer case in Switzerland. Uh, his storage locker was up for bids, and I got into that auction bid and got like 2 boxes out of there that came with
Oh,
200 photographs of original cases that he worked on with documents, some with negatives, some with a series of photographs, like seeing the UFO going across the sky in the terrain, you know what I'm saying? Or some with UFOs with planes. So that's what I have one of the famous series that I have is the 12 photograph series of a UFO with an F-117 stealth fighter over Pensacola, Florida, 95. And it's
oh,
just beautiful.
wow.
It's very clear pictures of this thing of the jet taking it swoops at this goddamn thing, trying to figure out what the fuck he came out of. And it might have come out of
That's
the water.
wild.
Really wild. Maybe I can show pictures here really quick for people who don't know or never seen my collection. There we go. Slap some of these up here quick. Beautiful. I have the
Oh
flying
wow.
saucer with the F-117. Very beautiful and clear. And yeah, and it's just the fact that you can see it, the series of photographs,
That's wild. It's
right?
a very, yeah, it's very
Nice and
clear.
clear. Boom. Just fuck me sideways, right? Just like what? And the fact that I own the physical photographs, it's like a touch and shit. So um I've been putting all these online where they've been going viral, so much so where his old colleagues got a hold of me through my email, Facebook, phone to verify what I had. So I like send them stuff, and the fact they're like, yes, you're carrying on his legacy of like sharing these photographs, doing what you're doing, and
Oh,
carrying.
that's awesome. So they were very supportive of you.
Oh
Okay,
yeah, they were.
that's
So yeah,
awesome.
these people from are like Paula Harris that worked with J. Allen Hynek with Project Blue Book, with Wendell. She was really close colleagues. Jacques Vallée out in Paris, very famous UFO uh, investigator, and yeah, again, all these people that I've like watched on Ancient Aliens are now like contacting me or been on my podcast since I've been like
Wow.
doing this, getting or so yeah, again, when I've had these photographs putting online, all these other podcasters reached out to me. It's like, oh, can we have you on your podcast to share your photographs and tell your stories and how you're getting interested in the field and stuff like that. So I met my colleague Daniel from Germany, who has a German channel and it's really big out there. And he asked me to be on his channel, and he liked me so much. He's like, "We should do an American version of what I'm doing out here in Germany." So me and him teamed up, and we created Flying Chariots: The Rise.
That's how you got started over here.
Yeah. So
That's amazing. That's like a
yeah,
dream come true then for
yeah,
you,
full
huh?
circle, right? I never thought I'd be doing podcasting. It's I used to do music. I used to be in a band called Birdseye. So I love the stage. I love the
Does it?
spotlight. And I missed that since the band broke up. We were together for like five
What'd
years.
you do for the band? Because
I was
I
the
can see you being a band.
Yeah, I was the lead singer, the
All right.
MC. So I'm like
Yeah.
it was an indie funk rock hip hop band. So I'm the MC, the rapper. But yeah,
Rapper.
again, we have a live band, and so it makes we stand out a little bit differently. And yeah, again, it was fun. But again, it was like a relationship, so we are always butting heads on subject matter, and then there was the drug abuse and sex and everything. Everybody wants to be a rock star that goes along with it. So yeah, it's hard to keep up with. So I was just like, or rather stick to the UFOs and stuff like that. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing now. And again, this
And
is a
all
great
because
hobby.
you happen to see one
Yeah, that
coming
one
home from your
sighting.
girlfriend. The one time coming home from you said coming home from your girlfriend's house.
Yeah, at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. She's way gone. She's probably
But I mean,
married now with kids.
I think it's crazy how sometimes we can pinpoint just that one little single event that changes our
Sure,
entire
sure,
world.
sure. And it could have been like The Shining for you, the movie The Shining, just that stems something from you. Like, okay, there's something here in
Well,
this.
the Shining got me into horror and Halloween, but I would say as far as the movies and
uh,
the conventions was actually going to Mad Monster 2 years ago,
oh, okay.
and that was like a last minute trip. Sandy Johnson, who played Judith Myers in the original Halloween, we're
Oh,
friends, and it was like 6 days before the trip, and she said, "Why don't you come to Mad Monster with me?" And I was like, "Well, I don't really know anybody. I'm not sure." And I went, and it turned out I have so many Facebook friends in Charlotte, North Carolina. It was crazy. Um, and yeah, started talking to people there. Met James Walsmo, which was the first full length movie I did. That was the Karate Ghost 2. Um, so if you like sex appeal, you would like his movies because they're all boobs and
Oh yeah, girl, do I like a sex appeal?
you know. I do have to tell you about that too because we filmed at Mad Monster and uh, I have a boob scene, but then
Mm.
I have a full on solo nude scene.
Oh, that's fucking dope. I'm gonna
And
have to try to
so
find that one.
and so
That is
yeah,
awesome.
and so he was having the the premiere in North Carolina, and I said, "Did any of my scenes make it in?" And he was like, "Yeah, they're all in." And I was like, "Okay." And then I'm like, I have to go because this is my first premiere. This is the he rented a theater, so it's on the big screen in North Carolina, and that was my very first experience of seeing myself on screen in this theater. I had friends come,
Wow,
and
that is awesome. I
I
mean,
mean, and I had to watch it because I mean, it was like
that's awesome.
at first I was like.
Sure.
And the funniest thing is I'm I'm actually more shy in person, but I can never convince my friends that anymore because they came to the premiere and they're like, "You said you were shy. You're not shy."
Yeah, you ain't fooling nobody no more.
And so now it's just a done it's just a done deal.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, shit, you're scorching hot. So yeah, I can
Oh,
imagine
thank
everybody
you.
else in the theater was just jaw dropped and like acting like a cartoon wolf with like the tongue rolling out and the eyes popping out and shit. Like what? Uh yeah, you're blowing Stifler's mother out of the water. So hats off,
No.
girl. Seriously.
Oh, you're too kind. Thank
No,
you.
I'm just being honest. But no, that's so great. Again, I think there's just so much more opportunity coming for you. And I have other past guests that were actors before they were getting more into the UFO stuff, and I just found it fascinating their stories of getting into it. We had Mary Amy, and she's a great actress too. You should check some of her work. I forgot some of her movies were. And we have Heidi Pop. I like to name drop these because these girls like to watch and keep up with me. So hey, shout out to them and keep up the good work with what they're doing with the UFO and star seeds. But yeah, again, super dope. I kind of want to get into acting. You ever doing have you ever done improv? Like if you're gonna improv like clubs
Yeah,
and stuff like
oh, I've done improv, not as like a stand-up comedian
sure.
as and like Drew Carey's Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, okay. So in 2015, I completed a um, 5 courses at 4 Day Weekend. It's a local improv place here. And so that was super fun. And talk about, I don't know, you don't really have time. I liked it because you don't really have time to think about things. They give you a
Yes.
suggestion, a one word suggestion, and then you have to act it out with your team. You don't get to talk about it or anything. You
No.
just
No.
start doing it.
Yeah.
Um, and you just get to have fun and play. And for me, that's important because if you go to like any kindergarten classroom, they're a singer, they're a dancer, they're an artist,
Yes. Yeah.
they're an actress. And then something happens as we get older where, they tell us we can't play and have fun anymore. And
Mm.
so I think people forget to have fun. And that's what I liked about improv. I think and I have forgotten most of the scenes because it happened so fast, and
Sure. Sure.
they're only. I mean, a long scene might be 2 minutes,
Sure. Sure. Sure.
but I think one of the most fun scenes is we decided we were going to take over the fudge factory, and we were hunting keyboard elves, and so like, we were trying to trying to
Yes.
snipe out the
Yeah.
keyboard elves so we could take over. But it's just like fun things like that.
Yes. Yes.
We I think we need to have some type of creative outlet, some type of passion.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Um, we have an improv place here in Madison that I like to go to. It's really awesome. And I was really blown away by these people who, again, just off the spot. And it was just like, whose line is it anyways? Games
Oh,
they
do
were playing.
you? What is that
Yeah.
one?
What is it called?
Yeah.
It's called Atlas comedy. It's really cool. And they offer classes there too for improv if people want to learn. But again, these kids are so awesome and good. There's one guy that had like the rubber face, like Jim Carrey. They had like a DJ in the corner that like played like the music and like they'd be acting and like it cut to like the lights would turn off and the spotlight would be on the guy and he just turned to it and he's like like his thoughts and shit like that. I was like, no fucking way. They're just killing it. And yeah, it's very fast paced. I was very shocked. And they even had people from the audience that wanted to like come up. So I actually came up one time to help out. And it was my job was to move the actors. They couldn't move. They had to sit still, like frozen, and I'd have to put them in
Mm.
these positions. And I would put them in all
Mm.
these weird sexual positions where they were talking about like,
What? Yeah.
you know,
Yes.
going. We're supposed to be going to the grocery store and we're like fucking each other, Yeah, weird
I
shit.
love it.
Yeah, so I had to be dirty. Why not?
It's fun sometimes.
Yeah,
I think you should get into acting. You would
I
love
think
it.
I think I may. I think I might
You may.
see what else I'm good at because I tackled music. I'm doing podcasting and I'm getting more enthusiastic and a little bit more animated and whatnot. Got
You're
the
a
rubber
man of
face a little
many
bit,
talents, man.
a little bit. Well, so are you. Just talented as shit. And again, I feel like there's just so many opportunities and more things coming your way just because you're doing these movies and you're going to these conventions and you're never too old to do this shit. I feel like that's another proven point too. It's like you're getting late into the game, but you're just fucking slaying it. And there's people who are like support you and want you to keep going. And other actresses too. It seems like that redhead that's the star of the movie is likes you a lot and supports you and it's like stuff like that. Like there's
So
that like
sweet. She's my soul sister. She's so sweet, and
yeah.
I have gotten a lot of support, and I really appreciate everybody's support. It makes, I don't know, it makes me feel so good.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna ask you, besides The Shining, what's the other favorite scary movie that kind of like gives you more inspiration for things, or just kind of like you can just watch it over and over again without ever getting bored of it?
An inspiration for things. I mean, the ones that really scare me, I can't watch over and over, like The
Okay.
Exorcist. That scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, they did such a fucking great job with that one. I felt like they did such like their homework on like the demons and the devil coming from what is it, Iraq or what it was.
They did. I think I was about, how old was I? I don't remember how old I was when I saw that. I think maybe like 10. I mean, I was still pretty young.
Sure,
And
sure.
I remember going, I was at my friend's house, and I went to the bathroom. And when I came out into the dark hallway, her sister jumped out at me and scared me. And I'm just like screamed my head off.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I get my inspiration from really a lot of different sources. Sometimes, I mean, you're a music person. Sometimes it's songs.
Yeah, sure.
Um, uh, Papa Roach, Scars. I made a teddy bear based off of him, and it's this teddy bear that his heart. Well, I cut him open, stitched him open, and then he's holding a heart.
Oh, that's cute.
Tear my heart open, so myself shut.
Sure.
And then like I know this is kind of silly, but typo negative, you know them?
No.
Okay. So they have a song called Christian Woman, and it's you would like that piece because it's a cross and
Sure.
it's stitched and it has an eye on it. But
Okay,
that
cool.
was kind of an inspiration to create that piece because the song talks about her having a cross above her bed, and
Uh,
how she's basically going to burn for her lust.
Dang.
um
Yeah.
so
Oh, again, like back to the Exorcist. The makeup and the special effects during that time was amazing, right?
yeah, the
And
pea
they're very
soup, yeah.
and being very controversial at the same time, where she's fucking grabbing a crucifix and like saying "fuck me, Jesus," like
I
stabbing
know.
herself in the pussy. Like that is pretty wild. And again, I love that hardcore. It had its psychological uh, scariness too, not just the
And
physical
and
viewing.
that's me. I mean, I'm a very short person. I'm only
Are
four
you?
foot 11. Yeah, I'm 4 foot 11. I
I can't
weigh
really picture that.
92.
You look taller than that for some reason.
I just project myself like a tall person.
You do. Okay, you're super short. Okay. I'll try
I'm
to.
super short.
Okay, not
Yeah.
super short.
I mean, I'm mean as shit, and I've seen a lot of scary movies. So if I hear something outside, I'm all automatically scanning the room like, what weapon can I use? Um, you know, I probably wouldn't win against a serial killer, but they would regret messing with me.
Sure.
But it's that supernatural stuff that scares me
Oh
because
yeah.
I don't have a fighting chance against a ghost or,
No, a
yeah,
demon.
a demon. No. So those are the movies that really scare me. The rest of the stuff, it's just like, oh, that's cool, and I don't know.
Yeah.
And some of the movies, I'm like zooming in, going, how did they make that effect? What did they use? Like, it just
Yeah. Yeah. You
doesn't
gotta.
bother me at all.
Yeah. I like Jaws too. That's because that's more realistic in a sense. Because people nowadays it seems like there's tons of shark attacks. You hear, look in the news, like people are just, especially in Florida and other places. I was like,
They do. That movie scared me when I was a kid because I went to the theater to see that. My brother, he was 8 years older than me, and he was an asshole. I was he was such an
that
asshole. I
bastard.
was Yeah, I was taking a bath, and he comes in there, and he starts humming the Jaws theme
Oh
song.
shit.
And so I'm like, ah,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just like screaming,
Mm-hmm.
yes. Mm. And it took me years to get over that trauma because anytime that I even got into a swimming pool, I just knew that a shark was going to come and attack me.
Yeah, I didn't like the lakes after that movie either. I was like, oh, there's too many. No. And then there's like these freshwater sharks too, like the bull shark. I'm like, damn, I'd hate to have one of those come all the way from this Mississippi River, come all the way to Wisconsin and find its way into like,
I do. I
uh,
saw a nurse shark. I went to, when was that? Grand Cayman Islands.
wow.
And how old was my youngest daughter? I think my youngest, I mean, she was a teenager. But she's the one that flips out very easily about things.
Mm.
My older daughter is more calm, but we went snorkeling, which
Oh,
is
cool.
pretty awesome because you could see the water, and you could actually see divers down below. It was that clear.
Oh, wow.
Um, but yeah, we're snorkeling, and the tour guide said something about a shark, and so Kirsten's like, "Ah, did he say shark?" And I'm like, "I don't need her flipping out." I mean, I'm kind of scared too, but I don't need her flipping out. And I was like, no, 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 that's not what he said. Zip it. It was not a shark. He said a shark. No, he did not.
Ah, that's hilarious. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of sharks.
No, they'll eat you.
Yeah, and like I only been in the ocean. I went to Cancun a while ago, and yeah, I went only in for a little bit snorkeling. Yeah, again, it's so eerie because you're so small. The ocean's so fucking big. We don't know
Mm-hmm.
fucking another thing about the ocean. We only know like what 8% of the ocean, like or maybe 10 at the most. That's crazy.
It
That's
is
there's
crazy.
aliens down there, alien bases from the dawn of time.
Are there?
Yeah, well, I believe so.
Really?
Oh
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, they there's well, we had Professor Avi Loeb from Harvard on our show, and he's been on Ancient Aliens, and he's there's an alleged UFO crash back in 2014 near the Pacific Islands, and it was caught on radar or something like that. And so him and his team went down there with a bunch of boats that had these gigantic magnets that were dragging on the bottom of the ocean, trying to pick up reminiscences of some of this UFO craft. And they found some interesting materials of like these
oh
spheres
wow.
with like different properties not from Earth. So he brings back this evidence to the scientific community, and they're all button heads battling him, saying this isn't real. This is something you're just you're wasting your time basically. But it's like, fuck you guys, you're fucking behind your desks not doing shit, and I'm out here in the field picking up this shit, and analyzing it. He's well known and respectable professor. So again, um he's been on Ancient Aliens and other programs, podcasts. He's one of the biggest guys we had on our podcast. So again, I was very honored that he like wanted to spend some time with us. So to me, I'm a bunch of nobody, but again, making us
No,
somebody.
that I mean,
But again, it was really
that I,
cool, honored, and just to hear his story of him battling the scientific community, and then just going down there and collecting some of this evidence himself. And yeah, it's great. That's what we need. We need more scientists to kind of open up their minds a little bit and something that might be possible, and then go out there in the field and check it out.
right,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah,
I think it's cool that you've had all those people on your show, and I think that speaks volumes to, how far along you've come just from that one that one chance encounter.
sure, sure. That and the golden ticket of the photographs of Colonel Wendell Stevens' collection. So it's like, again, if I didn't
Well, yeah.
battle those people for yeah, I spent the little coin on those. But I'm glad I did,
Oh,
because
I'm sure you
it,
did.
it opened the door for opportunities of people I've never thought or dreamt that I've ever talked to. And on the phone, I was on the phone with Paula Harris for like an hour and a half one time. I was like, what business do I have? And then she's giving me awesome compliments of like carrying on Wendell's torch, and like he's looking down at you from heaven and shit. I'm like, what?
That's so
What?
cool.
Okay. This is too surreal. So yeah, it's been like a roller coaster ever since. And again, meeting like cool people like you. And again, I opening up my we're kind of opening up this podcast kind of like an umbrella. We have other uh co-hosts. We have this girl named Luna, who's a psychic medium, and she does great work. She goes out to the field, works with people, and she had impressed us with some of our guests. She like one of our guests had a grandmother who died like 2 weeks before she had been on
Oh,
our show, and she like just called it out, say, your grandma just died on your grandma on your mom's side. And she's like, yeah. She's like, well, she's behind you. And she
oh
starts talking
wow.
about dropping names. I'm like, holy fuck. And just the fact that she just, I guess I've never been with her when she's just busting it out like that. And
You're right.
our
Wow.
guest was just crying, just like, oh my
Oh,
God, how could you, how did you know this? Like, what? And yeah, again, really cool. And she kind of stepped away from the paranormal field because there's the cesspool of other investigators and other people who claim that they're real psychics or mediums, and it's just a battle between just dissing each other. It's kind of like the rap community. I could bring it to that level almost, because
yeah.
I've been in that situation where it's just like everybody thinks they're better than the next person. And yeah, what the fuck. And I'm just trying to stand out, again, with myself, having all these, just being open-minded and having all these topics, not just UFOs, but like um, giving Luna a platform just to kind of step away from what she was doing. And
Right.
I have my German colleague that jumps on once in a while too. He's been really busy with multiple podcasts in Germany, so I'm just kind of doing it by myself too. And whenever Luna is available, she's a busy girl herself. But yeah, we kind of made this podcast an umbrella and kind of get other people under it, kind of,
I love it. Yeah.
and promoting you and stuff like this. It'd be like people can find your work through us, and we'll still keep. If people have questions, we'll steer them towards your websites or information. You can towards the end of this, you can drop whatever information you want out to the public if they want to reach out to you for making stuff, or just if people want to get into the hobby themselves, because it's if it's therapeutic to you, I'm pretty sure it's
Hmm.
therapeutic to other horror loving people who just want to get into this community, maybe go to these conventions and share their artwork. And yeah, because I was in the Chicago paranormal convention. It was like maybe 4 weeks ago or more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was out there showcasing Colonel Wendell Stevens photographs at one of the booths that I
Oh,
was sharing with Barnaby Jones, who's a cryptic hunter here in Wisconsin. This guy's a real
what?
Ghostbusters. Yeah, he does this for a living. He goes all over Wisconsin and all over the country too, but he does mainly Wisconsin. It's Wisconsin Caps is his team. He's got like a team of 12 people. Yeah, he travels around. He's got like a Ghostbuster van, not the Ghostbusters, but he has his own van that has his own imprint. It turns heads. It's like when this guy
Boy,
parked in my driveway, like our neighbor's like, "Whoa, is there a ghost
what does
investigation
that?
going on? Like, what is this?"
That's so cool.
It's super cool, and
Have you been on a ghost investigation?
I have not. It's one thing I want to do off my bucket list here is go out in the field and check some of this up. I've been invited to this woman actually is going to be on my podcast on this Sunday. Uh, she does ghost tours here in Madison. So I met her through some other local mutual friends, and we started doing our little UFO get-togethers here now, like once a month. We do at like different bars. We actually had a new bar that just opened up called the Gamma Ray, and it's a UFO theme bar. That's where we had our first one. Uh, and we just kind of popped it off after that. We're doing this once a month. We have people who are like-minded people who are just interested in the subject. We have t-shirts and we have stickers. I bring my photograph collection to showcase while people are there. So I have this big photo album. I'm just standing there, answering
That's
questions and
cool. Yeah.
socializing with people and networking and promoting my podcast. Yeah, again, it's just growing and growing. Just seeing that people see that I'm just busting my ass doing this for the love of the subject and not asking for any money or donations. It's just love and getting people together just to talk about the subject and stuff like
It's your
that.
passion. Yeah.
It is, yeah. It's just it because yeah, Wisconsin is such a hot spot. It's just not too. It's just ridiculous. So yeah, I'm lost for
I didn't
words.
know that they had I didn't know that they had so much going on there in Wisconsin. That's
Oh,
crazy.
we do. Hey, I'll tell you a famous story that I love. And I actually
Tell me.
I have a cabin. I'm actually going there next Saturday out in Eagle River, Wisconsin. It is about 3.5 hours north of Madison. And yeah, it's a beautiful place. We have a cabin right off the lake. But anyways, back in 1961, Joe Simonton was sitting in his kitchen eating lunch or breakfast, either one. And he just happened to look out the window and there was a gray silver classic flying saucer come like down like an elevator onto his driveway. And he's just like,
Oh
what the
wow.
fuck is this? And
What? Yeah.
he comes running out of his house and uh a latch opens up and then a man pops out wearing a tight blue jumpsuit and with very olive skin, like he was an Italian man, about 5 foot tall. And he was holding an empty jug and motioning
Hmm.
like he wanted water. He's just, there was no communication. Joe was trying to communicate. Say, would you want water? Or he said his alien had very penetrating eyes, but he's human. Like he could like walked around with human clothes and you wouldn't notice he's an alien, basically. But again, he was not scared because he was human enough to like interact with the guy. But he said he had very penetrating eyes where he couldn't even look at the guy straight in the face. So he grabs this empty jug from this guy and he goes get some water and he comes back and gives the guy the water. And he noticed inside the craft there were two other guys wearing the same blue jumpsuits and looked alike. And they were standing over this flameless flat grill cooking, looked like these coin-sized pancakes. And
Hmm.
he's like, what the hell? And so he gave the water to the guy, and for the exchange of water, the ET goes and grabs like 4 pancakes and gives it to him. They're hot and greasy, and he's just like, "What?" He's like, "Do you want me to eat this?" And he like just took it like a little nibble, and it said it tastes like a piece of cardboard. He's like, "What the
Oh
fuck?"
wow.
And then there was no words exchanged. It was just this guy was just giving penetrating. I was like, okay. And then he hops back into the flying saucer, and when the door closed, you couldn't see where the door even closed. There was like this, it just kind of melted in,
Just seamless.
and it rose up and it tilted at an angle, and it shut up like a bullet. And he's just standing there with 4 greasy hot pancakes in his hand. He's just like, what the fuck? And then he calls the authorities and tells them the story. And
Oh no.
no, and they actually
How'd that
kind
go over?
they actually kind of took him somewhat seriously, because there was other
Oh, did
reports
they?
of a UFO being sighted in that area by multiple witnesses that called in too. So he brought these pancakes to analysts, scientists and analysts who took this and did their experiments on it and see what it was. They found out that they were regular buckwheat pancakes, but did not have any trace of salt. And that's impossible, because everything organic on Earth has a trace of salt because of the oceans. Even us, our bodies have some salt in it.
Okay.
Even the
That makes
trees,
sense, but I didn't
everything.
know that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know
So
that. Learned something new.
everything organic. So again, this could have been made off planet, where these extraterrestrials home planet didn't have any salt in it. They might have had other like plants like buckwheat, obviously, or they might have trees. Who knows? Like we look for water on other plants to find life, or even like trees and plants. So again, it's not too far fetched that buckwheat could be on a different planet too.
Right.
And so again, this kind of add to this mystery of like, did this guy really get physical evidence of ETs giving him like this? Again, if I was an ET too and got like a godlike status, or like go out there to fucks with somebody, I would. And they have this. It kind of like left. I can only
I
imagine those
would.
aliens laughing their asses off after they just dipped off with this guy holding a bunch of pancakes, not having any
Oh
words
yeah.
exchanged. Like, yeah, we could have totally interacted with this dude, but I'm just gonna give him the penetrating. Give me the water. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's just like what. And we have other cases here. We have man, again, Elmwood is famous for having UFO sightings since the 1920s. There's the guy, the sheriff of the town of Elmwood, actually saw this UFO and reported it and got shot with a blue beam, and then died a year later. And his family thinks that it was the cause of radiation poisoning from this blast
Wow.
of blue beam. And we have Mark Coltrane, another police officer in Colfax, Wisconsin. I actually have his original series of photographs from Colonel Wendell Stevens' collection. That's another thing. Like these
Wow.
photographs made it full circle again, like back to Wisconsin and my possession. Like, what the
Back to
fuck?
you.
What the
That was
fuck?
it was
Too
meant to
amazing.
be.
Too
Yeah.
surreal. This is meant to be.
I I wish I could I yeah, I wish I could have seen your face when you found out that you won the auction. I mean,
Oh
that
yeah,
just had to be like
I was geeking.
indescribable. Yeah.
Yeah. And like a lot of the photographs I didn't get to see that were in there. So it was even more of a surprise
Oh,
what I was getting. I was like, whoa, what?
that was like Christmas. Like, what am I? Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's yeah, again, it's been like a journey of sharing these with the public, having people see it with their own 2 eyes. Because again, it's cool to see a picture online. It's just like, okay, you can, what can you really get from that? But you actually get to see these photographs, like you can almost touch them. And on some of these photographs, most of them, I should say, have Colonel Wendell Stevens' handwriting on the back of them, like the dates and the who took the picture and little notes of
Wow.
what happened in the incident. Like that's even more gold. That is his handwriting, right? Like
Right?
I even have his
That's amazing.
autograph. I have like the famous case abductee case in Pensacola, Mississippi, back in 1973. The two guys who got abducted by these like robot giant basically the elephant skin almost, but crab-like hands. But actually they were just kind of like the minions that just dragged these guys into the UFO, and it was a beautiful, luscious, blonde-haired woman that was working on them and shit.
What? Hmm.
Oh, I should tell you, especially being into the sex appeal and whatnot, I should tell you these interactions with some of these other contactees and that have interesting stories. You ever heard of a guy named Peter Curry from Australia?
I have not.
Well, let me tell you this awesome and interesting, crazy story. It's quite sexual. So, you ready?
Ooh la la.
Oh, get yourself ready, girl. All right.
Mm-mm.
So, this guy was sleeping in Australia, I think Sydney, Australia, and it was about 7 a.m. in the morning. And he thought there was like a cat that jumped onto the bed. And he's like, I don't own a cat. What the fuck? And he opens his eyes and he noticed there was a beautiful blonde, like white, almost like white hair, milky white skin, well proportionate. You could tell there's something a little bit different on her face, but nothing like crazy different where he'd be so scared. But again, he was very confused and somewhat scared that there's a woman
Well, sure.
straddling his dick, well, like, and he noticed right behind her, sitting on the bed, was another woman that looked like her. And
Hmm.
he's like, how did you guys get in here? So he starts to get up, and this woman cups the back of his head and pulls her towards her breast to smother him in her breast, to kind of trying to control him in a sense. And he got even more worried and scared. He bit down, just to get the fuck off me. Like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
So he had a little flesh in his mouth, and he said he had this acid reflex of this, of whatever he had in his mouth. And he heard voices in his head of this interaction of the two women saying, "Oh, he's doing this wrong. He's doing this wrong." And he says, even more, because
Oh.
I can hear this in my fucking head. And right when, like, a second, they just both like disappeared out of thin air. And he noticed, like, what the fuck? He noticed he had a boner, and it wouldn't go away for like 6 hours. And he noticed,
Oh no.
looking closer at his penis, there was this like an indentation, like if you stuck your nail into your flesh, it kind of leaves that mark. Is like there was like a hair that was wrapped around his cock, and he said he had to peel this fucking thing off.
That's
It was very painful, and right when he did, it relieved his boner. So again,
that's
this
great.
his
Yeah.
hair
That's
was
wild.
keeping his dick hard for these aliens for where they're fucking him, uh, to basically milk him in a sense to get whatever breeding process they're doing. Seriously, there's this huge breeding process of, even if they take you up there and shove needles in you to get your sperm out, or they're straight up fucking you like old school style of you hear in the Bible and shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind the old school shit. You can bring it on anytime. I'm over here. No, yeah. So he gets this shit analyzed by scientists, and then they did like a whole, like, it's almost like a crime scene. He describes, like, they just like did samples of his hair, his wife's hair, other hair that was laying around the house and stuff like that. But they found out that this hair like had crazy DNA from like all races of humans, from like the even like
Oh wow.
the early hominids of Earth, like in some like pygmy in Africa. And there's some reason why it's white, because it didn't need much sunlight. So where it came from and shit, like, but the weird property of having it wrapped around his cock to keep it hard, it seemed like it's like the holy grail, right? Like this guy, this had like, and even having the opportunity to fuck these ETs. Too bad that the second one didn't get her turn. She's like, fuck, man,
I
this
know,
bitch fucked it
right?
up for me. I ain't gonna fuck this dude. But again, yeah, it started this sensation where now he's like, he does interviews, and now he's fucking like this model woman now that looks something like an alien or something. Again,
She looks like
he
she
made
looks
his
like a
fame.
what?
She kind of looks like an alien herself. No, I'm just saying. But she's beautiful. But again, like, just weird how his life kind of flipped around. He's uh, uh, got divorced from his wife, probably from all the fame and all this other shit that came with, his evidence and the story that came with it. Is just like, God, everyone wants to fuck you now because
You
you
fucked an
had
alien.
two aliens about to gangbang you.
Yeah.
And yeah,
An
very
alien
interesting.
threesome.
Yeah, right. I can only imagine what aliens would pick you up. My God. It's like, oh shit, this woman can handle some shit. Mm. Might be some ideas floating around in the in the future for sci-fi gory dildos or something. Who knows?
You know what? They do make those.
Do they? Actually, I
They
did
do.
actually think I heard about these where they make alien dildo like things that actually like spit out or even impregnate uh these edible or like they absorb into your body too if you can't get them out of these like little eggs. People want to get impregnated by these weird fetishes. But yeah, again, that's it's in there. It's part of the sex culture. These alien dildo things that like impregnate you with eggs. Not up my alley, but yes, it's out there. But no, that's really cool. Um, you think about making like sex toys like that just for shits? Besides I know you've done it with the yarn. It's probably the most you've done with the sex fun toy things and
No, I haven't made any sex toys or sex
okay,
props.
sex
It'd be
props. Yeah.
kind of um I think it would be kind of cool to, do a special effects prop of
Yes, yes,
the dog.
that'd be really cool. No, that's really sweet. Well, I'm trying to think. I'd love to have you on again because I usually have group talks. I get a bunch of the girls who are into the same subjects,
Oh,
ghost
nice.
hunters and stuff like that. I think you'd be a great asset to have some great laughs and add your jokes and puns and shit and
To
into the
them.
subject matter. Just yeah, because this is great. I love
Yeah, I love
talking
that.
with you.
I like talking to you too. I appreciate you having me on. I'd like to
Yeah,
talk to you again.
yeah. No, seriously. You you sparked my curiosity of who you were and I was living vicariously through you a little bit. I was like, damn, she's got this little awesome little life going on for herself. And again, like it's never too late, it seems, to pursue your dreams and your hobbies because you never know who like wants to get you on the big scene. And like again, like I'm very thankful for people who wanted to work with me or like doing what I'm doing now. This is
Right, it's the same for you. I mean, you've really,
so
it seems
weird.
like you've really blown up over the last few years.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been
So
a roller
we're
coaster.
both living the life.
That's right, girl. That's
That's the only
awesome.
way. Life's too short.
That's right. It
Gotta
really
have fun
is.
and live it up.
It is. Again, I feel like I'm still like I'm 18 years old. So again, that's why maybe it's, it's aging well. But yeah,
Yeah.
but no, is there any like information for people who can find you or reach out to you?
I'm just on Facebook, and when I make stuff, I just post it. I I really do need to get the Instagram started up. It seems like everybody's going to Instagram. But
Yes.
yeah, they can just find me on Facebook, Misty Wagner, and I post my art and movie updates. And
Yes.
if there's with the Redhead 2, they're actually running a campaign right now where um, you can get killed by Redhead, or you
Oh,
can
cool.
have your voice in hell. Uh, she's got these very awesome. You will love this. She's got these very awesome paintings that she's making with her boobs.
Oh,
She can have
fuck
like,
yeah.
yeah, fuck yeah, you can have boob art.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm down.
Yeah,
That sounds
yeah,
really cool.
and down.
Oh
So
my. Okay.
yeah, so yeah, just on Facebook for now. I
Okay.
do have the IMBD where people can look
Oh,
me up
cool.
on there.
Sweet.
So,
That is so cool. And congratulations on that in your career.
Well, thank
I'm
you.
I'm here to support you. I'm here to promote you. And if any upcoming movies or any events, shoot them to me because then I can like put them on my Facebook and maybe promote stuff on my shows here and having you back on future shows just to kick the shit. Or
Yeah,
if
I
maybe
would
if
love
you
that.
or maybe I'm always looking for another co-host too. If you want to ever be a guest co-host and just join me on some conversations and just help me out with questions, I'm always looking for that help too. And
That's
if you're totally down,
awesome.
we can talk a little afterwards.
Yeah,
But
and
yeah, I think
yeah, we can talk. I support you too, and I'm really happy to, see going to conventions and stuff. And who knows,
yes.
we might see a convention together sometime.
Oh, I would love that. That'd be the best. Okay. Well, hey, let's end it here. And yeah, I want you to stick with me for 2 more minutes.
Okay.